All right, guys, welcome back to week 4 summary class. And I will first take up the question from Komal. She's having some issues, right? So Komal, I see that in Slack, you have added some issues. So for example, you have this situation here saying that I'm trying to execute week 4, 11, class 11. And this is the Amazon footer link scenario, okay? And you are basically getting index out of bound exception. What about this guy? I said, can you debug it? Did you try to debug it?
Yeah, I tried to debug it and it's failing. After, I think what's happening is there's a cookie pop-up on the Amazon page every time it's
Okay.
going out, like clicking on something. So if I click on that option, allow cookies, then
Yeah.
I'm able to go forward. Else
Yeah,
it's breaking.
obviously. So obviously.
Yeah.
So if you see a HTML component on top of your screen, obviously you have to handle that first. And then you can go ahead and perform other things, because otherwise that cookie will kind of block your way.
Yeah, that's what I understood, because then after this program, there was a program where we don't click, like it won't show on the browser. The one from the video where we are using URL class.
Yes.
Yeah, so that one is working completely fine, but this
Yeah,
one is not
obviously.
working. So that's why,
Because
yeah.
yeah, perfect. And what about this particular problem?
I don't know how to handle this. Like that's the same issue. So this is the error I'm getting. This is the error message from the console.
This is for which issue?
Same issue that you click on the link, you go forward, but you're not able to come back because of the pop-up cookies pop-up.
It's not about that.
It's not about that.
No. Cookies pop-up is there. So when you start the execution for the first time, you are going to get the cookies pop-up. You handle that, and you go and you click on one of the link that will take you to the next link. I mean, next page. And then when you come back again, so here, what is the error message ideally? You see this?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, this is the right error. My bad. This is the error, element click intercepted exception, because the cookie is coming.
Yeah.
Right? That is the reason why this error is coming, which is fine. Yeah, this error is related to the cookie pop-up. That's totally understandable. But other than that, there is also one more error message. It will come to you if you don't handle it correctly, and that is stale reference exception, stale element reference exception. Did you find that error?
No, it didn't happen.
Okay, so can we do a quick screen share and look into it?
Yeah.
So that everybody can also understand what's going on. Let me ask you to show your screen. Okay, I made you co-host. You should be able to show me your screen. I'll stop the screen share. You can share now.
Yeah. Sorry, 1 second.
That's all right. Yes, I can see it now. Good stuff. Can you run the scenario? Yeah. Okay, before you run the scenario, can you write that line where you are handling the pop-up? Okay, so meaning the cookie pop-up, right? So when you are reaching back to the previous page after you click on that link, okay, so let me actually request the control, right? So you are okay, so you are in line number 31. I see that you are saying, can you move, take out your mouse? I mean, I will control the mouse. So you can see this particular link, line number 31, you're saying, get me all the footer links. That's totally good. Then you are looping through the link size, okay? And you are performing a click in line number 34, right? You're saying line number 34 dot get I. Okay. Okay. That's cool. You have done one good thing. In line number 34, you are refinding the element. As soon as you come back to the page, you're refinding the element. This should work. So if you are not refinding the element, the question I would like to ask everyone, I'm asking about this question because I would like to know that if you have understood that if I don't give this line, so think about it. If I am coming back to the previous page, already I have used this line here, line number 31, which is storing all the web elements, right? So why can't I say just instead of this line, over here, why can't I say links dot get of I? Can someone answer me this? Why can't I say this in line number, instead of line number 34? Sorry, dot click, I should say dot click, dot click. Yeah, why can't I say this instead of line number 34? Why can't I say this? Can someone explain me that? If I do it, what will happen? Can someone explain me that? You have seen the videos already. You should be able to tell me this problem. And I have explained this very well in the video. Anyone? Cause is null. No. Where it is null? It's not null. How are you saying it's null, Emmanuel? You have the value there, right? Links. You have given the value over here, line number 31. I have given the value here, right? This has the value. So if it is a value, it's a list of web element. If it's having a value, then why can't I say links.get of I? Because it's a list. I can use a method called get of I, that is the index number 1 or index number 2, whatever, dot click. Why will it not work? It should work. Ideally, it should work. Theoretically, it should work. Just a second. Yeah. Can someone tell me why it's not happening? Okay, Shoaib just joined in. Shoaib, this is the execution that we're talking about in terms of Amazon.com footer links. The question is, if you remember, I have explained this in the previous batch. You have page number 1. That's your Amazon home page, and that's you have multiple links here.
Yep.
You have multiple links here. When you click on it, this should take you to the next page.
Yep.
So you made a click on the first link, and you are navigated to the next page, right?
Yep.
And then once you're navigated to the next page, you just verify that you are in the right URL or not. And then you are actually then coming back from the previous page to the new page. Once you come back to the previous page to the new page, you are supposed to click on the second link.
Yep.
This should take you to the next page again. But when you try to do that, you are not able to do that. And there is some problem that happens. Can you tell me, firstly, what is the exception that I will get? And if I'm getting that exception, how to handle that ideally? Can you
It's
tell me that?
do we to handle exception we need to do try and catch?
No. First and foremost, tell me what exception do I get in this scenario? And why am I getting that exception?
When I was trying to execute the same program, I was getting the problem with the cookies.
Okay.
So what I did was that I had to add a line where I could where I could accept the cookies. every time I clicked on the new link and I got back to the home page, so I was getting so the way I have written program is somewhat similar, but instead of just the line 41 driver dot get home, I had driver dot navigate back. Uh, I think, but you've said 40 line 41 is correct, so I'm assuming that is fine.
Hmm.
But yes, you did mention there was an issue with this, but I have forgotten what the issue is that I've. But I do clearly, but I had to write try and catch to make sure that the exception was handled.
No, exception handling is not the problem, just not the problem. There is also one more bigger logic. The logic is about this
Wait,
exception, stale element reference
is it
exception.
that we are giving like driver to define the element again because the element becomes stale after the click?
Exactly, exactly, exactly. When you are coming back to the previous page, you are making your element stale. Can you do me a favor, Komal? Can you just copy this piece of code
Mhm.
and just send it to me in the chat? I will execute this
Yeah.
in my system and I will explain the stale element reference exception because this is a very common exception. Everybody should understand what's going on.
Yeah.
I will quickly execute. Okay, I will actually uh, share my screen. Okay, so did you send me in the chat? Where did you do it? In the Slack
Uh,
or
in Zoom, if you want,
in
I
the
can send
Zoom?
it in Slack also.
No, just a minute. I'll take it from Zoom. That's fine. Chat here. Good. Okay. So let's create a new project. New Java project. Week 4 summary. Finish. Good. Um, test Selenium. New handle Amazon footer links. All right. Let's put it here. Okay, you have added another code. I'll just remove that part. Simple. Okay. Um, WebDriver driver equals new Chrome driver. Hmm, okay, let me just copy this much. Okay, list of web elements. What happened? That's a list. Why can't I get the web element? Here, import. Okay. That's all I need by import by, and that's it. Okay. So this is the simple program. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to go to Amazon page. What is Amazon? You know, you can go to amazon.com or whatever. And when you go there, you go to the bottom of the page, you have hundreds of footer links. You click on the footer link, that takes you to the next page. And the idea is that you want to validate that this page is the right page or not. I mean, and the links are not broken. So you just can simply see that it has a title. This page has a title. If you get a title, you can say that, yeah, this page is good. And then you can come back again. And then you can just say, let's go to the next link. You click on the next link. That's the whole idea. And you will do it for all the footer links over here. That's the whole idea, right? That's what I'm trying to do. So what I did here is simple. I got the driver created. Driver.get current URL. Where did you give the, okay, I think you didn't give that. Let me actually driver.get, and I'll just say https amazon.com. Okay, that's it. This should take me there. I really don't need this guy at all. What I have to do is I will simply come back to the previous page. So I'll just say driver.navigate back. So I'm coming back to the previous page again. Okay. What I'll do is, so let me comment out this line. What happens here is I have an error. For loop. If else, just a minute. I'm missing out something. That's the for loop. That's the okay. Yeah, good. One bracket was missing. Anyway, so you have this particular link. I'm just going to ignore this for now. Think about it. When you open the page for the first time, you have this particular guy. Okay, you are using this particular guy to extract all the links in the page or all the footer links in the page. You're already doing that. And you're putting that to a list of web elements. Totally okay. Now what am I doing? I'm saying, let me loop around all the links. Each and every link I go and I say, let me click on it. When I say click on it, I can easily say links dot get I dot click. Can you tell me, I want to ask this question to Moses. Can you tell me the section which I'm highlighting? Can you tell me what exactly is this? What is the object of this particular section that I highlighted? Can you tell me that, Moses?
I'm trying to think. So wait.
Yeah, I'm hearing you. It's a list of web element. So the section that I'm selecting or highlighting, what is that returning back to me? What will it return back to me? It's a list of web element. That's the object. Links is the object of the list of web element. So now the section that I'm highlighting, what will it return back to me? Is a question.
So it's
When I say a list of web element, it's a list and it can have multiple web element. Is that right? Yes, no?
yes, that's right.
So I say web element. Yep, that's I have all the list, right? So it's a list of web element. Now, a list is having a method called .get, and you will use the method to get an individual entity out of it. So this is a list. It's a list. The list is a list of web element. That's how we can write that. Okay, it's a list of web element, and this list of web element now can store multiple web elements. That's totally right. But if I want to get an individual entity out of this entire list, we can use the method called .get. So ideally, you will say a list .get, and the .get will have a bracket to choose a particular index. So you can say 1, 2, 0, whatever, right? So this guy now tell me list of get of 0. Now you can probably tell me what exactly this guy is returning back.
It's gonna give it an element of the 0th index.
What element? In this particular situation, what element? This is a list of web element. So it should give me back a web element in the 0th index, right?
Yes.
If I say that it's a list of string, and I am storing multiple string, and the object is called names. And if I say names dot get of I or 0, then it gives me what? What object?
Web element.
Why? This is a list of web elements. So you got the web element for the 0th index. There's a list of string. So it should give me back what?
It should give me back the values which is stored as string in that.
Back the names.
It should get me back the string in the 0th index, right?
Yeah, right.
Is that clear, Moses?
Yeah, I mean that was what I said earlier. So it's gonna give it a web element at 0th index.
No. That is for here. But for list of strings, it will give me a string, right? A string in the 0th index, not the web element, right?
Right.
No, I mean, do you see the difference between this section and this section?
Yes, I see it.
This is a web element, and that's a string, right? Web element is a separate object. String is a separate object. So you can store multiple strings, or you can store multiple web element, right?
Right.
But this method, .get method, can be used in both the case to access any element or any component of that particular list. So in this case, names, inside the names, we are storing string components. In case of this particular list, we are storing web element components, right? Everybody is clear with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, can you tell me, if you are clear with that, can you tell me again that how come I am able to access the click method here? The question is, this is a list, links is a list. How I am able to access the click method here? The red section is a list and the green section is the click. So how can I access the click method here? Can someone tell me that?
Because in the links, we have defined the XPath with a tag, which is a link. So that's why we are able to click it.
No, that is not the answer. Probably you're not able to say it in the right words, but it sounds like it's not the answer. It's not the answer I'm looking for.
Because
Links. Yeah, you say? Go on.
because there are lists of links in the elements, and it's gonna go straight to the first link that has been actually highlighted in the elements, and the click is gonna go that, which because high is actually the first variable in the array, which actually is 0, and is the first is gonna go to the first link.
No, that is not the answer either. Okay, so links dot get of I. For example, I is a variable. I'm saying links of get of 0 or 1, whatever. What is this going to return back? What is this? I just explained 2 minutes back. Just 2 minutes back. What is this?
A web element.
It's a web element, right? Everybody agrees to that?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Good. If it's a web element, then in the web element object or in the web element class, you have the method called as .click, right? This web element class is having the method called as .click, and that's the reason you are able to combine this particular portion and this particular portion together, and you can say that I'm clicking on that element. Is that right?
Correct.
Correct. Yeah.
So if you remember when I actually, I think in one of my last class, I've given you guys the breakdown, right? Driver dot find element by XPath by dot XPath. And did I give you the entire breakdown of it? And then dot click. Did I say, did I talk about all these methods and how are they stitched together into one single line? Did I talk about that? Yes or no?
Yeah.
So if you have understood that part, then this is exactly what is happening. Driver.find element by XPath is what? It's a web element, right? Are you understanding this? Driver.find element by XPath is a web element. And then you have a .click because that .click method belongs to a web element object. Is that clear to everyone?
Yes.
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 Okay. So this is always, you should always remember, you should not write something that you don't understand. You need to figure it out, or you need to ask me to understand what is exactly, why am I writing this line? How it is exactly happening? Okay. So let me clear this out. Now you understand that this line over here will make a click to each and every link. It will click on one link, it will go to the next page, then you say navigate dot back, it should come back to the previous page, and then you should click on the next link, right? Because I told you that there's a list. In the list you have multiple different web elements, and one by one you will perform the click on every one of them. Okay, every one of them. That is what is happening. Okay, so the question is, if you do it like this, then what is going to happen? Let's try to understand that. But before that, Komal, could you please send me that snippet where you're handling that cookies part? I don't have the object with me. I don't want to waste my time. Can you just quickly send me that line?
No, I have not
Clarity.
created that yet.
Oh, you
No.
haven't? Okay.
No.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Probably
I think Shoaib had done it when he joined the class. He was saying.
Yeah, Shoaib, do you have it? I can also create it. What's the big deal in that? Amazon.com.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
No, this is not the right one. Why is it not showing me? It should show me the cookies link. I'm opening up a private, yeah, that's the cookies link, right? Accept all. So good stuff. Inspect.
So I've sent you in Slack, Souvik.
You send me that? Okay. It was
It's
working,
for
right?
the cookies, right?
Yeah, cookies.
Yeah.
So okay. So you should say it in a different way, meaning just 1 minute, yeah. We will do something. We will say we will add a line here. I will explain that why we are doing this. But just add this line here. Driver dot manage. Sorry, driver dot manage dot timeout dot implicit wait, and just give like 20 seconds. I will let you know why am I doing this, but it's important that we add it here. Time unit dot seconds. Okay, so I'm just adding this line here, and then once I come in here, I can do say that if driver dot, instead of saying dot click, you say dot is displayed, then you want to perform a click on it. Okay, a better way of writing this, you can perform a click on this. That's what you should be doing. Ideally, what I would like to do is I would like to perform this action whenever I come back to the previous page. So I would say I'll do it here, right? In the for loop itself, because cookies can keep on coming. Okay, no, cookies will come only once. Sorry, my bad. I don't think it should come to me every time. Just put it here once. That should be
It was coming for me on every page.
yeah, because you were not doing the you're doing the uh get home. You're going back to the home page instead of going back to the previous page.
Okay.
So I'm thinking because of that reason. Let me try this.
Sure. Yeah.
So I will run this program. One more thing I'll do. I'll stop this. I'll make it bigger, okay? Then I'll make the screen full size. So I can do that with the help of driver dot manage dot window dot maximize. That should take care of it. Okay, let's run this one more time. Okay, it makes the screen bigger. Let's see if I have the cookies thing. It makes a click. Wow, it is clicking on a different link. Looks like your link isn't right. Nav footer call. No, you're in the right place only. Nav footer call. Why it is clicking on the link here? Number of links is 0. That is here.
I'm using
So
amazon.co.
no. This auto ID is clicking on the sign in button for some reason, Sharaf. I'm not actually seeing the cookies for me. I don't know why. It's not coming up here.
That's quite strange because I've been using in several programs on Amazon.
Yeah. No, it is .com. Maybe .co.uk.
Oh, yeah, I was using .co.uk.
Yeah. That could be a reason, right? Okay, we will see about that. Let me remove this part first, and then we'll see how that works.
On com, there's no cookie. It's on co.uk.
Okay, cool. That's good.
Sorry, Souvik, I've got a question regarding cookies. So when I'm navigating manually, Amazon.co.uk, I don't tend to get cookies, but when I'm
Yeah, because your cookies, when you use the Amazon.com or co.uk, you did it some time back, right? And you have already set your cookies once, which is stored in your browser.
okay.
Okay. Now that's it. Now once it's done, it's done. However,
No, but when I run the automated
for the
program,
test case, you are
yeah,
actually opening up the browser, which is a private window, which is a brand new browser window, you can say. So obviously the cookies for that will not be set. You understand? It's not the same
okay.
browser window you are opening up. It's a brand new browser window which has no cookies, no history, nothing. Okay, so we got an error. And still element reference. Okay. So number of lines 26. That is good. Now, when I clicked on it, it should take me to the previous next page. It didn't take me to the next page. It says pass over here. You did the get title, and then you said pass. It should take you back to the previous page, but it didn't. I don't know why. We will see that. Right? What we will do, we'll do a debug. You put a breakpoint, maybe. Okay, this printout is not needed. This printout for the index is not needed. I'll just put a breakpoint here in line number 30, and we will run this one more time to see what's going on. You see, we are in line number 30 now. It says 26 links, totally good with that. Let's go and perform the next step to click on the link. That takes me to the next page, just like that. It does the validation. So like here, get title is not equals to empty. If the get title is not equals to empty, then I say it's a pass. That's a good logic. And you say it's a pass, good. And then you say, let's go back to perform the navigate.back. When you do this, it should come back to the next page. And then you must say, I am clicking on the next link, right? And you click on the next link. And let's just perform the resume. And that's that. You see an error or an exception saying stale element reference exception. This is the exception that I was talking about. And I want you guys to register this into your mind that this exception is coming because your element becomes stale. If you understand what I'm trying to say here is this. So you have page number 1 where you have multiple links. You have page number 2 where you just navigate it. So here you have multiple links. You click on the link, you are navigating to the next page, you're validating your title in the next page, you're coming back over here. When you come back over here, think about it, when you use this method just here once, right? You use this method driver.findElements. You call this method driver.findElements when you launch the page for the first time. So you found the elements and you stored those elements inside the links object. That's totally fine. But because you have navigated to the next page and you again came back to the previous page, this objects are right now there, but they are kind of stale or they are inactive. They are there, but they are inactive. How do I know that? Look at this. I mean, I'm going to run this one more time for you so that you understand this totally. It's a very important exception for you to figure out. But once you figure it out, it's very simple to handle, right? I will run this scenario one more time. You understand? So I'm here now. I will just say, let's go and run, click. I did the click. That takes me to the next page. Totally understandable. I go and say, I am happy with that. So let's pass and then navigate back. When I navigated back, look into it very closely and you will see that the links.size, if you try to inspect it or watch it, you still see the number of size is 26. That is no problem in that. You have the object, but those objects are inactive, or otherwise you can say stale. If it is a stale element, you cannot perform a click operation into it. You cannot do anything for that matter in a stale element. So this is my stale element. This links is giving me all the web element. Links is what? It's a list. Links is what? It's a list. Links object is nothing but it's a list of web element. So it is giving me still 26. But if I just say dot get of say 1, if you enter, you get the object. You see that this object is there. There is no problem to understand that. You see, this is one of the object. It has the XPath and everything, but this guy is now inactive because the refresh happened. Meaning I am now just going to perform in the watch window itself. I'm going to say dot get text. Can I do it? And it says error during evaluation, because none of the method will now run, which are coming from web element. So get text is a web element method, right? Like click is a web element method. Get text is also a web element method, and it's not able to evaluate because it says stale element reference exception because the page was refreshed. Is that understandable? The reason for stale element reference exception, are you okay with that? Yes, no? Guys, yes, no?
Yes.
So everybody, I'm not hearing from everybody. Please tell me.
Yes.
All good with that, right?
Yeah.
Moses, Emmanuel,
Yes.
Sunit,
Yes.
Shravanti.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Here, yes.
So if that's the case, the question is, how do I handle it? How do I handle it? Can I just take Shoaib's word and just use a try-catch block? Will it help? Will it help? What do you think, Shoaib? Will it help? So this is where the link is. This is where the click is happening, right?
We have to
So
redeclare it.
Shoaib is saying, let's go and put a try-catch block. Can I do that? I can do that. No problem at all. Exception E, and we just want to E dot. I don't want to do anything with the E, right? Nothing happens in the catch block. Totally fine. I put the try catch block here over here, try over here, and then just run it. Well, what will happen? Let's see what will happen.
I think it will just compress the error, but the functionality, whatever we are intent to work out, that won't work.
Exactly. Very good. Very well said. It will just compress the error. It will not show you the error, but the click that was supposed to happen, that will never happen. So that's the situation. Okay. Now what? Click. That's it. It's not able to click anymore. Right? Fail. Gone. Right? So that's the situation with the I mean, handling stale reference exception is a little bit tricky. You cannot just do it with just a try catch block. So there is one solution which Komal has added, and this is this. What she is doing is she is using this line over here, line number 26, to idly get just the number of the elements links.size. That's all. That's all she's doing. And then what she's doing is she is again refinding the element one more time inside the for loop. So inside the for loop, she's saying one more time, driver.find elements, and driver.find elements. Can you now tell me this line over here is basically what? What object is this? The one that I'm highlighting right now?
Web
Can someone?
element.
No. Think properly and tell me.
Links.
No. Think properly and tell me. The section that I'm highlighting right now, what exactly is that? Think about it and tell me.
Nav foot link.
Sorry?
The nav foot link.
No.
It's a list of elements.
Exactly. It's a list of elements or web elements. Yeah. It's a list of web elements. Whenever you're answering me, think twice. So it's a list of web element. Because it's a list of web element, that's the reason I am able to write this line over here called dot get of I, because list of web element is having a method called get, and this I means that's the index, and then I perform the click. Now this line means that I am always refinding the object. So you are performing the click on the link, you go to the next page, you say dot get title blah blah blah, you say pass, you are doing navigate back, you're coming back to the for loop again, and then you're refining it for the second index, and then the third index and the fourth index, because your I variable continuously increments. So it will obviously be accessing the next element, and then you perform a click on it every time, and then that's how you are able to make it. I mean, you're able to work on all the 25 elements or 26 elements. Let's run it and just see. First link, coming back, I'm refinding it. So I should be clicking on the next link, you see? And it works like a charm. Am I clear with my explanation? Are you understanding how this is working?
Yes.
Yes.
There's another way to handle a stale element reference exception. But for that you to understand, you have to understand what is called as explicit wait. Just a minute. Is it coming to the same link? No, it's not. It's not. Okay. So I think you understand how it is working now. Let me stop the execution. No point in waiting for all of them. Okay, so this part I wanted to cover still is element reference exception, and that's the reason why I just said all of those. There is another way I have handled it in the video using HTTP URL class, where you don't have to perform any click or whatsoever. It all happens in the background for you. So please look into that and let me know if you have any questions. Okay. All right, so that is that. Let me go back to this section. So, okay. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about create test case to check the link by HTTP request. Yeah, that's where I was talking about those things. So,
Sorry, Slavik.
yeah.
We have to still cover last section of week 3, the inheritance and constructor.
Yes, you're right. My bad. My totally bad. Guys, please remind me, okay? Because I'm taking too many classes and sometimes I know it gets overlapped. So I wanted to cover up this
Polymorphism.
polymorphism, runtime polymorphism, right?
Right. Polymorphism, runtime polymorphism. Yeah.
Okay. Let me cover that. That's good.
I think, Souvik, we only covered constructors last time.
Yeah. Let me do that. Okay. So I spoke about constructor method overloading. What is method overloading? Method overloading is very simple. It means that you are trying to create a method with the same name, but there's a possibility that the method can have different implementation. Okay, it has different implementation, and that is called as overloading or polymorphism. Polymorphism means multiple shapes. That's what exactly it is happening, right? So you have, for example, this method over here. You see this method over here is just that I'm trying to add two numbers that I want to send to it. Okay, two integers I want to send to it, and it will simply add that and return back the value to me. So there's a return statement because the method is having a return type called as int. At the same time, I can have the same name for sum, and I can have, instead of two elements like earlier, I can have three elements now, right? Three numbers to add and then return back. So ideally, what is the rule of polymorphism? Polymorphism rule is very simple. You can keep the um, return type. Sorry, just give me 1 second, guys. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah. So what I'm saying is you can have different return types or same return type, doesn't matter, but you have to remember one thing: the parameters needs to be different. Meaning the number of parameters, there are two things that you have to understand. Number of parameters, number of params, or and both will work. Number of, sorry, types of params, and there is one more thing, params, order of params. Okay, there are three different things you need.
Hi, Shavik, we cannot hear you.
Hi, Komal. I'm not able to hear anything what Sovik is telling.
Me too.
I think it has hanged from his end.
Yeah, sorry guys, there was a problem in my system. Hold on, I will share this screen. Okay, so what did I say? I said that you need to have number of parameters different, number of a type of parameters different, and order of parameters different to create a overloading situation. It's very simple to understand. Let me quickly create that situation for you. Okay, before that, let me kill my Chrome. Okay. Now let's see the situation here. So new package test Java and new class. I'll say polymorphism, polymorph with the main method. Okay, and I have three methods. So you see, you want to add numbers. Okay, so you can say public static. I'll talk about the keyword static later on, but just remember that you can call a static method from another static method, right? So public static void add, right? And you can see int a, int b. That's two different variables I can add. Sys out sum plus a plus b, right? That's my addition, simple addition. I can add two numbers, and that's my one of the method. You can later on you can figure it out. Okay, I'm adding an integer with an integer. Is there a possibility that I can add a string with an integer? Is it possible? Let's try to do that. So I can say public static return type is int. Okay, add, you see, string a int b. My idea is to add a string with a number. Can I do that? I can. Ideally, what you do is you say return. If you just say a plus b now, it doesn't really make sense because a is still
String.
a string. So you need to figure it out. How can you convert a string to an integer? So what will you do? You will say integer dot parse parse int, and you give the value as string over here, which is a. Now the a gets converted to a string, or sorry, to an integer, and then you add an integer with an integer, and then you print this or return back the summation. That's one way of doing it. Okay, so you just see I added, you see, number of parameters are the same, but the type of parameters are different. You can have one more situation. The same thing is very weird, but I also said that you can have the order of parameter also different to make it work as a polymorphism. You see, I didn't do anything, nothing at all. I just changed my order. I'm saying int b first and then string a, and the entire solution remains same. But still I'm allowed to keep multiple methods with the same name. This section or this strategy is basically called as polymorphism. Okay, everybody's clear with that? Yes, no?
Yes, Avik.
Yes.
Okay, so let me call the methods. How can I call the methods? Very simple. I'll just say sys out. So to call add, this last to add, I'll just say add and then just like that. I have to give the value. So you see, if I want to call this method, so I first want to give the string. So let's give the string as 250 and the integer as 150 or 250 again. And if I want to call the next line, I'll give the value as 250 and 175, for example, right? I can call this just like that, run as Java application, and you get the value just there. You see? So that's the reason you need to use polymorphism. The idea is very simple behind polymorphism. That is, you remember just one name of the method. In this case, the only one name of the method is add. And when you just look at the parameter of the add method, then you can know that what options do you have to perform the addition, right? That's why polymorphism is very, very important. You just have to remember only one method name, and that's pretty much about it. Okay, everybody is clear with that? Yes, no? Everybody is crystal clear with that? Yes, no?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Good. So now let's go to another situation. Method overloading, method overriding. Okay, I have spoken about child and parent relationship last week. I did talk about the section where I said that you have a parent and you have a child relationship. With the help of extends keyword, you can establish that, right? When you do that, I have also shown you in the program that you can use. So last week, I was talking about students. Students, there is a constructor, and Komal can simply create her own constructor and then use the super keyword to call the constructor of the students class, because Komal is extended to students. I have shown that to you last week. So if you have understood that part, you should be understanding that there is a possibility now. So let me actually do this. I'll copy the 3 students or all of them actually. I'll paste it here. Okay, so you have students class. Let me actually close all my existing files. Okay, so I have just students class here. In this class, I have a constructor. I have some methods: get name, get gender, start class, end class. That's cool. No problem at all. Now, as a student or as a child of the students class, Komal and Anvesha can have their own methods, and I have shown you how to access these own methods. Learning karate, how to access them, I have shown that to you. But you also have to understand that there is also a possibility that as a child, you would like to improve or change the implementation of a method that is existing in the parent class. How do I mean by that? So for example, this method, students class, is having a method called as start class, end class. For example, Komal wants to change that implementation. Can I do that? Certainly I can. Meaning, just copy the exact same class, however it is, put it back in the Komal class, meaning everything over here should be same. You understand? The name, the return type, the access modifier, the return type, the name, the parameter, everything should be exactly same as the method designed in the super class. Only then the overriding works. If you say start class, and if you add a new parameter over here saying string something, maybe number of students, I don't know. right? If you do that, this method is not considered as an overridden method anymore. Start class method is then will be considered as a private method of Komal class, or a individual method of Komal class. It is not the same method as it's not an overridden method, right? How do you know it's an overridden method? If you have done the overriding properly, you will see a small triangle over here. Do you see this small little triangle? You can use it anywhere. I mean, you can see the same situation everywhere. You see this two small triangles. Even if you use IntelliJ or Eclipse, everywhere you will see a triangle or some kind of a icon to prove that you are overriding it. Okay. Now in the overriding, you just have one flexibility. What is that? To change your implementation. This entire thing can be changed the way you want it. That's the reason why overriding is important in some cases. You cannot do anything else in terms of the designing of the method, but implementation can be absolutely changed. Correct? This is called as overriding. Everybody is okay with that? Yes, no? Let me just say this out. Overridden method. Overridden method. Okay, I'm just not going to really implement anything here. Just copying and pasting it. Now in this situation, if you go and run this program, you will see that things are going to work out under this particular method. Meaning, if you go back to students class and you say, okay, you have this section, right? Already. Let me comment out. Okay. Now I say test students run as Java application. If I say that, you will see instead of, you see, it's calling this part, not the method out of the superclass. That is what overriding means. Everybody is understanding this part? Yes, no? Hello, yes, no?
Yes, yes.
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 Okay. Moses, do you have any question? Emmanuel, any question?
No.
All right, okay. Lastly, we will talk about one more thing, which is runtime polymorphism. This is a little bit complicated, so we will take a quick break, come back, and then we will discuss about the runtime polymorphism to understand how exactly it works. Why do I even need that? Okay. So just give me 5 minutes time and then we will start. All right. Thank you. All right. So now that we understand what is overloading and overriding, as I said, will be used only in a situation where we have a method in the superclass, and in the child class, you're just trying to create a different variant of it, just to give another implementation that is specific to the child class. That's where you will be using overriding. Overloading is entirely different than overriding. Understand this very well. Overloading means you are simply creating multiple different versions of a method, ideally to keep just one method name, but it can do multiple different jobs because they will have different parameters to bring in, and you can have different implementation on those methods. Everybody should be clear with these two concepts. Can I get a green signal from your side? All good with that? Yes, no? All good with that, right?
Yes.
Okay. So now that we understand this, the next thing will be runtime polymorphism. We understood about the concept of polymorphism. And this is runtime polymorphism, which is entirely different than the logic of polymorphism, if you ask me. Totally different. There is nothing related to overloading requirement in runtime polymorphism. But what exactly is it and how does it work is what we will be learning now. Okay. So let's try to first and foremost understand the use case of the runtime polymorphism. If you look at the current code, which you see in the screen, let me remove others. Okay. You see what I have done here is I have simply created an object of Komal. So let me draw it and make it clear for you. I have a parent, I have a student's class, I have Komal, I have Onnesha. So let me run it or write it. This is my student's class. Student's class. This is Komal, and this is Onnesha. Simple. Student's class is being extended by Komal as well as by Onnesha. Absolutely fine. No problem with that. In students class, I have some common methods like start test, start class, end class, right? And I have a method over here called learn karate, and learn singing or something like that. Learn guitar, I believe, right? These two methods are there as a part of automation, right? Now, if I am creating an object of Komal class, Komal equals new Komal. If I do that, what do I get? I get to access Komal dot start class, which is coming from student, Komal dot end class, which is coming from students as well, and Komal dot learn karate. I can access it. I can access all of them, all of these methods. If I am creating an object of Komal class, make sense? Now, this is exactly what is written in the code that you can see, right? Start class, end class. Now, because I just showed you the overriding situation a minute back, when I call the start class and end class, even then, even though they are a part of students superclass, even though it is a part of student superclass, because we use the overriding concept in Komal class, you are not getting the printout, or you're not getting the exact same value coming out of the students class, but you're getting the values coming out of the child class. Is that part clear to everyone? Yes, no?
Yes.
Others, please? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good. So if that's the case, now there could be a situation where you're saying that I want to create just the students class object, but I want to make sure that I am referencing that to a subclass child. Why will I do that? So there will be a situation, we will talk about that from Selenium perspective only, that there are situations where you are creating some methods in the parent class, like you just saw it here, and you want these methods to be executed by the child class, and you can control that which child class is ideally accessing this method. What do I mean? Let's see. I will comment out this section totally, and I am going to create a simple string. String student name, a student, I mean string that is a student name. You understand this concept is called as a runtime polymorphism. At runtime, depending on the value, you can control that you are creating which type of object. So I'm giving the name here as Komal, for example. This is a string variable. Just look at it. It's a Komal. That's fine. The value is Komal. That's good. And I'm creating an object of students class, not Komal class or not Anvesha class. I'm creating an object of students class. Let's see. Students class. Students, student. Okay. Just give the value as null for now. This is set to null for now. I'm setting it null for now, right? Now what I do is I say if student name dot equals, or equals ignore case. Equals ignore case meaning it could be in any case. So I'm just saying it could be, just say Komal, right? If it is, then I want to say student object is referencing to Komal class. You see how simple is that? I am creating an object of student, but I'm referencing to Komal. Again, else if student name dot Komal, I mean ignore case, if it is Anvesha, then I would like to create an object of student referencing to Anvesha, right? Anvesha, right? Anvesha, yeah, this is fine. Oh, I think in Anvesha I didn't handle my, yeah, I didn't handle my constructor properly. In Anvesha, I was accepting the name and everything, right? So let me just remove this part. I'll just say name as Anvesha and hot code that exactly how it was done in Komal, and the gender female. Good. So let's go back again. You see, Anvesha. Now, what's the benefit of that? Let's see the benefit. I just created this one object called student, right? After this if else section, I am saying student dot start class. Subject, let's say English. Again, student dot end class. English. Simple. Let's run it and see the result, and we'll see why the result is like that. Okay. So run as Java application. What do you see? You see the values coming as overridden method. Why is that? It's because that I have used the overriding concept a minute back to create my own version of Komal's start class and end class, which is why I got the value as overridden method there, right? It is not calling it from the students class. On the other hand, if I say this to be Onwisher, I will get the value as this guy. Why? Because Onwisher doesn't have any what? Any overridden method. When you're creating an object of students class pointing to Onwisher, it is eventually calling the method from the students class. Now, with this strategy, you are now having very flexible situation. Why? Because depending on your user input, the user input is this, you can now have the flexibility to create any type of object, whether it's a Komal object or an Onwisher object, and your code will then work differently for different type of inputs. You just saw that. You saw that how Komal's case, I got a different output, and for Onwish, I'm getting a different output. However, you have to always understand that this logic that you just wrote here is working in a situation where we are just trying to access only the common methods. What I mean by that, you see, I cannot say student dot learn karate or learn guitar. You see, I'm not able to see those methods here. Do you see that? Do I see those methods here? Learn karate or learn guitar. I'm not seeing those methods there because I am only able to access the common methods, which is a part of the students class as well as a part of the child class. But I'm not able to access anything specific to my child. That is a downside of runtime polymorphism, but there is a way to overcome that. There's a way to overcome that. I'll show you that as well. But first tell me, do you realize the flexibility of this solution? I mean, whatever I just showed you, it has a direct impact in test automation. And I will explain that in a minute. But do you first tell me, do you understand this situation? Meaning at runtime, depending on my runtime input, I am able to create different types of object. This will only work in a situation where I have a parent-child relationship established. Okay, that's where it can work out. You're creating an object depending on your user input. That's why it is runtime polymorphism. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Everybody, yes, no? Moses, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm following.
You're following, okay. You're following, but you are confidently following, or you're just following?
I mean, I'm somewhat confident.
Okay. What about others? Emmanuel, what do you think? What do you think, guys? Emmanuel, can you hear me?
it's blank on my side here. Maybe.
You're blank? Sorry, I didn't get that. Hi, Emmanuel. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
No, you're breaking up, man. I can't hear you at all.
I
Sorry, I can't hear you at
think
all.
um,
Okay, I don't hear him at all. Okay. Now, can someone tell me how? So you just saw that with this runtime polymorphism situation, you just saw I'm able to access my common methods, but how do I access my own methods? Own methods, like child class own methods. How can I do that? The concept is called as upcasting. Upcasting meaning, what can I do is this student's object that I have here, I can wrap this in a bracket and say Komal, or yeah, Komal, and then okay, sorry, my bad. Not exactly like that. I'll wrap the Komal in a bracket and then just wrap it one more time with the student. So what am I saying here? You understand that the student object is pointing to Komal right now, because when this line will be executed, we will know that we are creating an object of Komal, right? Okay. And then I can specifically say dot, I can specifically say that I am getting the method called learn karate. Do you understand? So you can actually access the individual method as well if you use this upcasting situation. So start English is totally fine. I can copy this part, paste it here, and I can say learn karate. But you see, Komal cannot access learn guitar because that's a part of Onvesha. So I'm kind of explicitly saying that the student object is a Komal object. That's why I'm able to access the method called learning karate. Is that clear? If I run this now, obviously, I'll get the value as overriding method, and Komal learning karate. Is that clear to everyone? Yes, no?
Yes.
So that's basically runtime polymorphism is. Now the question is, why do you even care about runtime polymorphism? What is it to do with automation testing? So we will talk about something called as interface later on, but for now you can understand something like this, right? Up till now we are writing the code, the Selenium code, basically with the help of Chrome driver equals new Chrome driver. That is what we are ideally writing so far. But this is not what we are intended to do. Why? Because Selenium WebDriver is a cross-browser testing tool. It's a cross-browser testing tool, meaning you want to write your code once and you want to re-execute it over and over again for other browsers. That is what your motive should be. So if that's the case, then how do you work it out? How can you work it out? You can work it out with the help of runtime polymorphism concept. Okay, let me take you to my paint and explain this to you. I'll say okay, right? This is what we were learning there. So that's my students class, Komal class, Onvisha class, and you just saw that. Now exactly the same structure is implemented with the help of interface. I'll talk about interface later on, but the logic remains quite same. So we have a superclass for an example, and the superclass is called WebDriver. WebDriver. Okay, and then I have subclasses: Chrome, Firefox, Safari, Edge, and many other more classes. So let me name them: Chrome, Chrome, Edge, Firefox, and Opera. Yeah, multiple of them, right? Now what you do is, as you have seen in the previous case, we have a parent-child relationship, exactly the same thing. So what's the idea? WebDriver is having a method like dot find element, find elements, and many more, get or quit. Many more methods are there as a part of WebDriver class. Okay. Chrome driver, Edge driver, Firefox driver, Opera driver, they also have some specific methods on their own class object. Meaning, what they have also done is, they have also overridden the method which are being described in the WebDriver class, specific to their own class. So they have a method called find element, which will work for Chrome or which will work for Firefox, right? This is an overridden method coming out of the superclass WebDriver. Whatever I'm showing you right now, the concept is same, but the implementation is a little bit different. I will talk about that later on when you understand what is interface, because WebDriver is not directly talking to these guys. Actually, there is one more layer in between called remote WebDriver. I'll talk about that. I don't want to confuse you right now, but the concept is exactly same as what I explained here. So find elements, get, quit, and many other web methods which are a part of WebDriver interface is now given to all these subclasses. Now by doing so, what can I write? You just saw in the runtime polymorphism, we were able to write students equal new Komal. We wrote that, right? Students equals new Komal. We said that, and you just saw when I ran the method student dot start class, what happened? I was able to get the result out of an overridden method in the Komal class, right? Not the method, not the result from the WebDriver class. I got the start class implement. I was able to access the start class method, which is a part of the Komal class. And that is exactly what we are supposed to do, meaning we are supposed to write idly like this: WebDriver driver equals null. Okay. And we're supposed to write if the browser name browser dot equals Chrome, then please get me the Chrome object. You understand me? You want your suit to be executed under any damn browser. So Chrome driver. You want to execute your code or your test suite under any browser. Depending on the browser name, you want to call the respective method designed for your Chrome browser, like find element or other methods. Is that clear to everyone? It should be crystal clear to everyone. Yes or no? This is the reason why I'm saying that runtime polymorphism has direct impact on how we write our test code. Give me a shout, please, if
Yes,
it's
understood.
making sense. So others, give me a shout, please.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Okay, all right. Let's try to implement this. Okay, and we will test this. So how do I do that? Let's go back to our simple code base again. What do I have here? What do I have here is my Amazon link. And you saw that I kind of added this Chrome driver over here, which is a nasty way of doing it. You cannot run this code without changing anything. You cannot run this code in the Firefox, right? So how do you want to do it? We can do something like this. We can say new class, and we can create a method called driver factory. The method or class driver factory is having only one task. The task is to generate me a driver object. So I can create a method saying, okay, first and foremost, let me create a private WebDriver driver object equals null, simple, and say a method. The method name is public void, not void driver. This method is going to give me back a WebDriver instance. So public WebDriver driver, or else a get driver. And this get driver method will have the entire implementation, meaning you say string browser name, and now what do I say? I say if browser name dot equals ignore case, okay, equals Chrome, then I want to do something specific. Else if the browser name is something else, then I want to do something else, right? So basically all your common stuff goes here. All your common stuff goes here. Okay, so what do I write? Let me go back to this section, and whatever I copied, I'll just copy the whole thing, Control X, and I'll go back to driver factory and just say this. So here you see, I say Chrome driver equals new Chrome driver. No, that's not the case. I will copy these two lines, put it after the if else section, Okay, and this driver, I'll remove this. I don't need that at all. So the idea is simple. When I get the browser name, the driver of Chrome driver will be created. And then if I just go back and say I want to do it the same thing for Firefox, I'll just say Gecko driver. It's a Gecko driver. Gecko driver.exe. By the way, I have to get the right path. Hold on. I need to get the right path of the base. Dev work drivers edge. Oh, sorry, my bad. Gecko driver, and that's it, right? That's my path. So I just want to paste this path over here, and the value is Gecko driver. Okay, and WebDriver Gecko driver or Firefox driver. Firefox driver. No, I think it's a Gecko driver. We'll see. It'll anyway throw me an error if I am doing it wrong, but that's fine. And here it'll be a Firefox driver. Okay, Control Shift O. It got me the Firefox driver imported, and that's it. And then I want to return back, return the driver object. I'm returning back the driver object. So you just created a private web driver, okay? And then you just need to, you will get the driver always from the get driver method only. You have to call the get driver method with the browser name, and you always get the driver object back from it. That's all. And you can have one more method here called quit driver. So public void quit driver. I'll just say quit. Yeah, quit driver is fine. Quit is fine. I say if the driver is not null, if the driver is not null, only then let me go and perform the quit. So I say driver dot quit. Yeah, that quits the driver. Simple stuff. Okay, so if that's the case, let's try and run this. Meaning, in our Amazon footer scenario, handle footer scenario, I have an error now. The driver is not available, so that's fine. I can create the object of driver factory. df equals new driver factory. Good. And all I want to do is I say df dot get driver, and I'm saying this as Chrome or Firefox. Okay. And what I want to do is WebDriver driver equals this, correct? Because get driver method gives me back a WebDriver object. So I can easily say that. WebDriver driver equals df.getDriver of Firefox, and that's pretty much about it. Then if this is the scenario, then I must be able to run it. See, Firefox driver is opening. So I'm using Runtime Polymorphism, right? Just to do the same thing. Same discuss will work now for any browser. That's the beauty of Runtime Polymorphism. Everybody's understanding that? Yes, no? Do you understand why do I need Runtime Polymorphism at all? Guys, yes, no?
Yes, got it.
Yes.
So this is what I really wanted to cover up.
So
Yeah, go on.
sorry, one question.
Yeah.
We are using if else loop.
If else is not a loop, it's a block.
Block, sorry. So
Yeah.
can we use switch case in this matter?
Yeah, absolutely. No problem at all.
So it's like which one is advisable? If you
I'm okay with the if else, actually. Yeah, I don't really switch case. You can do it. It's not a problem at all. But I don't know. For me, this looks much more cleaner.
Okay.
Right? You can use switch case also. Should not be a problem.
Okay.
All right. But this is why you need to. Yeah, go on.
So and this is the same way we'll can do it for Mac also.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. In the Mac, you don't need to specify your path over here, right? Because I think in the Mac, in one of the file, bash profile, I think the path is already set, so you don't need to do that. But other than that, everything remains same.
Okay.
Okay.
Savik, I have one question.
What?
Now you set the property, the exe path, right? System.set property, right?
Yeah.
So for example, now you put your local path over here, but in our company website normal, I mean, if we are giving the package or something, so there we cannot give our local path, right? So can we copy that exe to the project specified?
Yeah, you can do that. You can do that. You can do that.
So
actually, later on when we start talking about the advanced framework, we will be dealing with Docker, right? And when we deal with the Docker itself will come with all the exe file installed in it, right? So you don't have to bother about anything of that sort. It will automatically take care of accessing them. So you don't have to bother about them, right? But ideally, if you want to run them locally, then obviously you have to give the exe file. Yes.
Okay.
So that's pretty much that I wanted to cover up. What else we have? We have to talk about this section of XPath. Okay, so I did the scenario already for you. Find elements, test navigation link. That is good. XPath access browser, XPath access and web element commands to interact with the application, and implementing various web element methods. So this part, right, regarding the XPath, let me show it to you next week. I will talk about it next week. I will enable you with the week number 5, where we have some more implementation of the hostel world test case. I again will tell you that the hostel world implementation that you will see it here, it will not work word by word with the current application of hostel world, because obviously the application has changed a little bit. So you have to do some research on that, and you have to fix it. You have to try and error. You have to do some own implementation. You have to fix that implementation, and you can complete that. But next week, let me start with the XPath and give you the understanding of what kind of XPath it is and what kind of XPath methods we have and what is XPath access and those kind of things. And also I will talk about things like, sorting of result. Okay, if you watch this video, you will have some idea about all of them, but I'll talk about that anyways next week and cover them up. I'll enable you with the week number 5. I'm closing my class 1 hour early today. I have some work which I got to do. So the previous doubts are clear. I will talk about the XPath next week, and also the hostel world scenarios. Yeah, everybody's okay with that?
Yes. So can you enable us with week 3 solutions?
Yes, that's fine.
Yes, I will do that. I will give you the week 3 and week 4 as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Perfect, guys. Thank you. Thanks for joining. See you next week. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for your time.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.